Disclaimer. This episode contains graphic descriptions of violence that may be disturbing to some listeners. Please be advised.
Hi there. Hello.
Hey.
I'm Taylor.
I'm Mandy.
I'm Amanda.
And this is Pop, Crime, and Wine.
Welcome. Fa la 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 la.
It is Christmassy time. Christmassy time.
It is Christmassy time, and now I don't get in trouble for having my little tree up in my room.
No, it's beautiful. I feel like we should deck the halls.
I'll deck your halls.
Oh, sexual.
Sorry, I found an opportunity and I had to dig it.
Feeling.
I'm also pretty sure that on my drive over here, I saw Santa Claus driving a 18-wheeler.
I knew it. I knew that's how he does it.
I do love seeing like the 18-wheelers with big like Rudolph noses on their front license plate.
Or like a full wreath.
Yeah, or the reindeer ears coming out the side.
I feel like they're the
It's
only
cute.
cars that should do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although I see these little like Volkswagen bugs
Like a
and they're
little
cute.
Prius. A Prius with
No.
reindeer ears.
That's just the bug because it looks like a cartoon.
Oh, have you seen those bugs with like the eyelashes on the lights?
I used to want
hate
those when I had a bug,
Yeah.
and I never got them because I wanted them, and then I was like, no, I don't want them, really.
Not really,
And
though.
now I'm happy that I never got them because I would have judged myself
Yep.
back in the day.
For sure.
I mean, I have a lot to judge myself about already back in the
Exactly.
day.
I don't need to add anything
Okay.
else.
So you just got fake lashes for your face.
Yeah, not for my bug.
But
do
they
we
look
have?
wonderful.
Sponsoring this week.
Oh, yeah.
This week, our sponsor is Heather Anderson, and it's called Edge, and it's a sweet looking bottle. I'm not going to lie.
It's Alexander Valley, which I'm not entirely sure where that is. California, I guess. Sonoma. It is a Cabernet Sauvignon. Cutting edge wine without the cutting edge price. Oh.
Love it.
Am I allowed to say that when we found it at the liquor store, it had a sign on it?
What did it say?
It said that, Taylor and I, went to the liquor store and we found it, and there was a sign from the people that work at the liquor store, and they're like,
Oh, yeah.
oh, yeah, we tasted this wine not knowing the price and thought that it was $60 more expensive than it actually is.
Yeah.
So I'm super excited.
That's a great thing to know.
I forgot
Yeah.
all about that sign.
Yeah, they were like, we thought it was super expensive, and then we found out that it was under $20.
Yeah.
That's kind of the best. That's the best advertising you could get.
Yeah.
That's why we got it.
Perfect. Edge wine. Thank you, Heather Anderson.
Let's see what this pop sounds like.
That was good.
Yeah.
Pretty
That was a
beautiful,
solid pop.
actually.
Yeah.
I'm impressed.
I haven't had a good solid pop in a while.
Oh, Sam.
Oh, quit.
Sorry, you said it with that inflection in your voice. What was I supposed to do with that?
Stop for a second. I was like, am I allowed to laugh at this? I don't know. So funny.
Sorry.
Wow, we're starting this episode off real dirty. We haven't even had any pre-wine.
No, I'm having pre-coffee.
Yeah, all I've had today was coffee. Ooh, I got this fancy Keurig. For any of you that follow me on social media, I've posted videos of it. But I got the Keurig Cafe.
Oh, that makes drinks and shit?
I can make...
I did see that
Yes.
with the frothing foam.
Yes.
And you poured it over ice. It looked
Yes,
delicious.
I can make my own. So today,
Why didn't you
So
bring
instead
any
of going
with
to
you?
Starbucks, I'm
Yes.
coming to
I went to
Amanda's.
Starbucks. I'm not gonna lie. I went to Starbucks and I bought the cinnamon dolce syrup.
Oh, yeah.
And
I saw
so
it at your
today,
house.
I did 2 pumps of cinnamon dolce syrup. I put ice in it, and I did the milk froth into a latte, and then I put 2 shots of espresso. And oh my gosh, it was like I bought a drink at Starbucks.
That's really nice.
This is at your office or at your home?
At my home, I'm not sharing that
I
with
was
my
about
clients.
to say, wow.
No offense, clients.
This
You
wine
get a
is,
regular Keurig.
like a
Edgy.
tart berry.
Yeah, it's kind of, it's got a
Edgy.
little edge to it.
Yeah. It's tart.
I wonder if that's why they named it.
I like
I like
it.
the smell of it. I haven't
It reminds
tasted
me
it
of
yet.
berries.
It does.
Like that, kind of
Yeah, like a
dryness.
tart cherry.
After you eat fruit, like a berry or something, like raspberry. Can you edit all that out? Because that was just a ramble
About
shit
Barry.
about Barry.
No, that should stand.
She's
for
like, how
sure.
long can I talk about
I just wanted to stop and I couldn't. Just kept going.
It tastes like a berry, like a berry, like that,
But it,
that's
like,
on a tree.
could
A
not.
berry, not a berry on a bush, but a tree berry.
It leaves like a really like warm feeling in the bottom of my neck. Warm.
Yeah, I feel that too. Kind of like how.
Kind of. Oh yeah. Like fire inside
Yeah, I
me.
was gonna say like the Inferno did,
Yeah,
a little.
I like it. I like that a lot.
but it doesn't. It's
good.
like in my chest. It's not in my mouth. I feel like it's smooth.
This is the most
It's
we've
smooth.
ever reviewed a wine in the
that's
beginning.
not true at all.
No, I feel like it's smooth in my mouth and then heated in my chest.
You guys.
You can't say things like that.
You can't. No.
You can and
No.
you should. We should. The beginning of every podcast should just be for all of our dirty jokes. Just get them all out of the way.
My mouth. Warm in my chest.
Ghost sounds so
Oh. So that's how this episode's going to go.
Welcome.
Welcome, everybody.
good. Happy Christmas.
What do we have for crime this week, Taylor?
Crime this week is kind of exciting. I chose one that didn't happen in the U.S., which, have we done that yet?
Yeah, I did the New Zealand one.
The very last episode. we did.
In our defense, it was a while ago.
I have the mind of a fish.
A goldfish.
Like a
A
dory?
goldfish. Oh, like a dory, exactly. I'll remember things when I need to, like when it's really pertinent.
P42 Wallaby Wayne.
Exactly.
Wallaby Wayne.
Wallaby Wayne is what you said.
Way?
Yep.
Lane.
Wallaby Lane. Sydney.
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 Okay.
All right. So, this crime occurred in Italy. Have you ever heard of Leonarda Cianculli?
I've heard of a chinchilla.
Okay, it has nothing to do with
I
chinchillas.
think those are originally from Africa.
or churros or any other.
churros are Spanish or
Yeah,
Mexican.
they're
Spanish
Churros
Delicious.
are delicious.
They're so
Well,
good.
Okay.
Okay, so Leonarda was born in 1894 in Montella, Italy. She had a not so great childhood. Her mother was a very nasty woman, and she told Leonarda, yeah, very nasty. Nasty lady.
Nasty woman.
I guess right now, a nasty woman is kind of a good
yeah.
thing, but she was a bad kind of nasty
Okay.
woman. And she told Leonarda that she was cursed by the devil and that her life would fall apart and be worth nothing. And as an adolescent or a teen, I guess it was mostly like verbal abuse. She pretty much just disliked her own daughter and said mean things to her all the time. As an adolescent, she tried to commit suicide 2 times, Leonarda. So she had a very troubling childhood, didn't start off so well. And that's kind of what happens when you get these like serial killers. I feel like it doesn't start off well.
No. Really, none of them have like a decent childhood with decent parents
Right.
and a decent holidays and birthdays and stuff.
I guess that there are some exceptions to that, but for the most part,
Right.
they don't do well with their parents for the most part. So in 1917, she had grown up and she married a man that her mother and father didn't like. His name was Raphael Pensardi.
But does that mean that he's a good guy because if her parents were like not nice?
Right. Ooh.
Quite
Maybe?
possibly. We'll see. So he was a registry office clerk. He had a pretty, boring life. Very normal. They had planned to marry her to another man before she ended up marrying Raphael. And it was most likely someone who had a little bit more wealth. They wanted her to, obviously she's still their child. So they wanted her to,
An arranged
have
marriage?
a good life. Yes,
Okay.
an arranged marriage. And on her wedding day, her mother cursed them.
Oh.
I was just gonna ask like what happens if you don't marry the person that you're arranged to, but I guess you get cursed.
You get
You
cursed
get cursed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exiled from the family.
Yeah,
that
but
makes
your
sense.
mother is the worst.
Raphael reminds me of
Jane the Virgin?
Rufio.
Oh.
From Peter Pan.
It reminds me
Hook.
of the Ninja
Or from
Turtles.
Hook, yes.
Oh,
Raphael, yeah.
Raphael
Lots
and
of-
Leonarda.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Leonardo.
Oh, shit.
And what's the one with the M? The famous name.
Michelangelo. All four of them
Michelangelo.
are famous names.
But don't
they're
they
all
actually
famous
say
artists.
Michelangelo?
I think
That's
it's
how you're-
Michelangelo. On the
On the TV show, yeah.
On
But the
TMNT.
actual artist, I think it was his. They said it like Michelangelo.
I've always said Michelangelo.
Yes,
but
I know.
I also
yeah, that's the normal American way of saying
Okay.
Michelangelo.
it was Michelangelo, Raphael, Leonardo, and
The last one nobody can remember.
Ooh,
he was also a famous artist. That's what they named them after.
Da Vinci.
No,
but
that's Leonardo. I already thought Da Vinci because I said Leonardo and I was like, Da Vinci. Donatello.
Donatello.
Yes.
Yep.
I had to go through the colors in my mind.
Nice. That's good.
So they ended up moving away, and then not long after, in 1927, Cianculli was arrested and sentenced to time in prison for fraud. I couldn't seem to find all the information that I wanted on that, probably since it was like back in the 1900s. So I say 1900s like it was a really long time ago, but it was so
It was almost
early
20
on
years
that
ago.
Yeah.
it was really hard for me to find things on this case, strangely enough.
Well, I mean, if you think about it, we didn't put any of that into computers until 1995-ish.
Ish.
So everything was paper
Yeah,
and,
that's true.
microfilm. So
Microfilm.
So after she got out, she ended up going to a fortune teller, and the fortune teller had told her that she would have kids, but all of them would die early, die young.
that's sad.
And in one hand, the palm reader said, on one hand, she saw prison, and on the other side, she saw a criminal asylum. So the palm reader. Why do I keep saying palm reader?
I don't know, but it's hilarious.
I like it.
Oh my gosh.
Palm reader.
The palm reader. Yeah, so her left hand was criminal asylum and her right hand was prison. So obviously,
I also want everyone to know that you pointed to your right hand and said left. You pointed
Share
to your
for the
left
class,
hand
please.
and said right. I just need everyone to know that just happened. Not
Taylor's
only
having
are we having
a
palm
rough time.
readers,
having a weird day, okay?
palm readers, but they don't know left and right.
This is a terrible palm reader, honestly. It's she don't even know her left and right. Okay.
That's fantastic. Okay.
We believe in you,
continue.
TT.
She ended up getting arrested and going to jail, so that part came true. And then during their marriage, they had 17 pregnancies. She miscarried 3 times, and then 10 of her children were born, and they died
Stillborn?
before age 10.
What?
Can you imagine? Like
No.
13 like 3 miscarries and 10 children die before they're 10 years old.
Of
So-
various
Yeah,
ways.
various illnesses and
Oh.
accidents and things
Wow.
like that. So naturally, she became very protective of her 4 surviving children. In 1939, her oldest son, how do you say this? Giuseppe?
Giuseppe.
Giuseppe.
Yeah.
I was
Mark-
like, Giuseppe?
Yeah.
Mark
Italian.
makes
Giuseppe?
Mark always says that we're going to name
Giuseppe.
one of our kids Giuseppe. So
Giuseppe.
yeah.
Giuseppe. Thank you. So Giuseppe was her favorite child, and he was her oldest son, and he was going to join the Italian army. And she would literally protect him at all costs. Like, she would do anything. She came to the conclusion that her children's safety required human sacrifice.
What?
Obviously.
Obviously, that's where I would have gone.
And you know what? Like, if 10 of your kids die before age 10, maybe your mind is maybe you just go crazy and you're
That-
like,
yeah.
you know what? I need to kill somebody else so that my children live.
She's going off of a fortune teller.
Yeah.
Like, and then also all of that traumatic that, you can't recover.
My mind is still blown about how the fortune teller was right.
Yeah.
Like,
That's true.
That's
That's
crazy.
true.
Crazy. Yeah.
And if I saw a fortune teller and they told me those things. And then one of the, and I'd be like, whatever, that's not true. And then if one of it happened, I'd be like, holy shit, this is like my destiny. That's where my mind would go. And then after that, then you're like, how can I keep my kids alive? Because she told her that all her kids were going to die.
Yeah.
So I can see how she went crazy. I understand her.
But also
get it.
human
Bad.
sacrifice.
But also,
Did she kill her own kids or kill other people with human sacrifice?
so you'll see.
Okay.
Let me tell you. So she was a bit of a fortune teller herself, and she had women coming to her all the time, kind of like asking what was going to go on with their lives and their futures and their love lives. And so she would have them come over. She'd serve them tea cakes and give them tea and like read their palms and just tell them about their lives. And
Can I just say that we talked about tea cakes in the last episode too? Why don't we
did
have
we?
tea cakes in America?
it's kind of like
Like, did we
crunchy
talk about
cookies
that?
almost. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did I ask what they were last time?
I think we talked about it, or maybe we talked about it afterwards with Sam.
Well, tea cakes are like kind of like cookies because you serve them with tea and you can like dip them in and they're crunchy and they're
like a little biscuit kind of thing.
like a little biscuit,
like a
Yeah.
biscotti.
Biscotti.
We should get those and some coffee. Oh my god.
Like the chocolate covered ones.
Yeah, that sounds delicious. Ooh, like almond and chocolate biscotti. Mm.
And call them tea cakes.
And
We'll call them coffee cakes. Oh, we have coffee cakes.
do you?
Coffee cake?
No, and
Oh, I thought you meant like you personally have coffee cakes.
Oh no,
for
but
us.
I'm going
I was like,
to.
"You brought those?"
Yeah.
I'm going
It's
to
fantastic.
after this.
Okay, so I'm going to start with victim one. Her name was, I might be saying this incorrectly, Faustina Seti.
Sounds good.
Yeah, I like it. Okay, so she was a lifelong spinster who had come to Leonarda for help in finding a husband. So she was older. I didn't find all the exact ages, but I know that they're in between like 50 and 60, these women. And Leonarda said that she had found her the perfect suitor in Croatia, but she told her to not tell a single soul and that she should write these letters to her family and friends who might be wondering where she went and that Leonarda would send them to her family as soon as she left for Croatia.
And she didn't think that this is weird.
I know, right? It kind of sounds a little unbelievable. But these women were, like this one in particular, was like, I need a husband. Like, you found a husband. Like, you coming to me and asking me for advice, you trust me, right?
Now I don't.
You trust me, right?
Don't you trust
Do you have
me?
a passport ready?
But like when you have some sort of friendship with
Yeah.
someone, you don't expect them to want to murder you, I guess.
Yeah, especially like someone that's supposedly like trying to help you with your life. Yeah.
Exactly. And she had friends who had seen her and you know, thought that she was doing a great job, and so she trusted her. So she told her to write these letters and postcards, and that as soon as she left for Croatia, Leonardo would deliver them to her friends and family. And on the day that she was leaving to meet this man, Seti came to visit Leo one more time, and she offered a glass of wine. Naturally, that glass of wine that Leonarda gave
Was poisoned.
Faustina was drugged.
Cyanide.
No, it's drugged so she would kind of pass out and get woozy. Leonarda killed her with an axe
Oh shit.
and put her in the closet.
Oh.
What?
She then cut her into 9 parts, gathering the blood into a basin, and she threw the pieces into a pot. She added 7 kilos, which I Googled it. It's 15 pounds.
Thank you.
Of caustic soda, which she had bought to make soap. And she stirred the mixture until it dissolved into a thick, dark mush. She dried the coagulated blood in the oven, ground it, mixed it with flour, sugar, chocolate, milk, and eggs.
No.
She made her into a cake.
Naturally, she added margarine, kneading all of the ingredients to form crunchy tea cakes.
No.
I don't want tea cakes
I don't
anymore.
want tea cakes.
She then served them to the ladies who came to visit her, although her and Giuseppe also ate them.
She ate them herself?
Yeah,
and
she ate
Giuseppe
them
to keep him alive.
and Giuseppe ate them. Although
What?
I don't think Giuseppe obviously knew that there were human remains in the tea cakes.
She's a witch. She thinks that her mom cursed her. So it must be like a family genetic thing that she's obviously a witch. She knows fortunes and she kills people to save her children.
Yep.
All of this makes sense.
Yeah, it does. So let's get to the second victim.
It doesn't make logical sense. It just makes sense. And I feel like we're reading a story. Like this doesn't feel like real life.
This
doesn't
seems
feel
like a
like a real
Grimm
thing.
Brothers.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
does.
Grimm's fairy tale.
What was that? Yeah, those little fairy tales, almost like Hansel and Gretel.
Yeah, that's
Grimm.
And, oh, is it Grimm?
Yeah, the Brothers Grimm.
Cool. Yeah, I like that.
That's what it feels like.
It does.
They're dark. Like the real ones. I have
yeah,
them.
They're super dark.
Yeah.
I might read those one time because I love that.
They're terrifying.
So much. Okay, so the second victim is Francesca Soavi. Cianculli claimed to have found a job for her at the School of Girls in Piacenza. She persuaded her to also write letters to her family and friends, and she killed this victim the exact same way as the last.
Did she also eat this person?
Yeah, made her into tea cakes.
Into TK. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So the third victim and the last is Virginia. Oh, these Italian names are killing me. Cacciopo. Cacciopo. I think it's Virginia Cacciopo.
That sounds
so
great.
good.
Yeah.
Does it? Okay,
Yeah.
good.
Like you were about to make me a pizza.
Wait, so
Cacciopo.
Yeah.
I might be jumping ahead,
Yeah.
but did she do all of this just to save Giuseppe, or is
So
all
she
her
has
kids.
4 surviving children.
So she's trying to
Giuseppe
save
being
all of
her,
them.
her favorite. Yeah. So she had it in her mind that the only way to keep them alive was to kill other people, like for
In their
human
place.
sacrifice.
Yeah. Okay.
So the third victim, Virginia, was a former soprano said to have sung at the La Scala. She claimed to have found work as a secretary for a mysterious impresario. I'm not sure what an impresario is, but it sounds really
Mysterious.
classy.
I never
Right?
watched The Sopranos, so I don't know.
No,
She's
soprano,
a soprano.
the singer.
I know.
Oh, okay.
I was thinking a joke.
But I did watch The Sopranos, and I thought it was really wonderful.
I know I don't sing, you guys, but I know what a soprano is.
So maybe
no,
an
sweetie.
impresario has something to do with, like,
Sing?
music. Yeah. Okay. So
like
an
improv?
impresario is a person who organizes and often finances concerts, plays, and operas.
Oh.
So that makes sense. So she had claimed to have found work for her with a very mysterious impresario. And this happened on the 30th of September, 1940. But unlike the first and second, this victim was melted to make soap. She put her in a pot. Apparently, her flesh was very fatty and white. And once it had melted, Cianculli added a bottle of cologne. She made a very creamy soap. She gave bars away to neighbors and acquaintances. Cianculli was to have said, she said that her last victim made for delicious cakes as well. And these are quotes that Cianculli was to have said about the third victim. That woman was really sweet.
Oh, God.
But she didn't eat her.
She made her
she
into
said-
tea cakes and soap. So sorry.
Creamy soap, delicious
Creamy soap,
tea cakes.
Delicious sweet tea cakes.
Ew.
Virginia's sister, this is her downfall. Virginia's sister-in-law had grown very suspicious at her sudden disappearance and had last seen her going into Leonarda's house. So she told police, who later down the road arrested Leonarda. She didn't confess to the murders until they started to think that Giuseppe, her son, had done them. And at that point, she was tried for murder in 1946, found guilty, sentenced to 30 years in prison, and three years in criminal asylum.
So both hands were right.
Both hands were right. So she ended up dying in prison of a cerebral apoplexy, which is just like a bleed in your brain, I guess, in 1970.
Wow.
And a bunch of artifacts are on display, including the pot that she used at the Criminological Museum in Rome.
We should
And there's a Broadway play
Yeah, let's just go to Rome.
They made a Broadway play about
what is
it
it
called
called?
Love and Magic in Mama's Kitchen.
Oh,
Oh, shit.
all right. I'm going to be Googling that tonight. See
I
where
feel
it's
like
at.
it reminds me of what is the one with Johnny Depp?
Sweeney
With the
Todd.
barber-
Yeah,
yeah,
Sweeney
Sweeney
Todd.
Todd. Like I would definitely watch
Yeah.
a Broadway play about it.
Meat cakes.
Oh yeah, they called her.
Meat
I forgot to
pies.
tell you. I didn't want to give away the whole soap thing in the beginning, but she was called the soap maker of Correggio.
So it's like
That's
people already knew like that's something that she did.
No, that's what she was called
That's
afterwards.
what she ended up being called after they found.
Oh,
found out she
her
made-
criminal name?
Yeah,
Like her, like,
yeah.
that's stupid.
No, she made soap out of people.
She,
I know,
they didn't
but-
want to call her tea cakes because people wouldn't buy them anymore. You have to buy soap.
No, you don't.
You should have soap.
Is that Mandy?
It's Chuck, I swear. Well, that's disturbing.
Yeah.
Disturbing
and exciting.
and weird.
I actually found I found that crime on Pinterest just from like it was a picture of her face and underneath it said the soap maker of Correggio killed her victims and made soap out of them and
you're like,
oh,
I'm
I
in.
need to know more.
Click. Done.
That's so
Creepy.
like I don't
Well,
know.
can you imagine just
Very
going
creative.
from not
No wonder
not
she was on
eating human
Pinterest.
flesh to like making tea cakes out of people?
She was on Pinterest because she was so creative. She made tea cake, like she posted them, the recipes later on
I
for her
can't.
friends to share.
I feel guilty about saying I wanted tea cakes now. I'm like, oh man.
No, it's okay. Tea
Well,
cakes are good.
We don't want them with
We don't-
human
obviously-
remains in them.
Yeah.
We don't want the
No,
human
thank
kind.
No.
There's so many things about people like making people into food.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like fried green tomatoes.
Wait,
What?
Have you guys never seen fried green tomatoes?
I think I saw it. Was
Oh,
that
you guys aren't
Rosie
from the
O'Donnell
South.
in it?
No.
Oh, that was Now and Then.
Now and Then, which is
Okay.
also very good.
Same era.
I've heard of fried green tomatoes, like the title, but I've never seen it. I don't
Yeah.
even know what it's about.
Well, I'm not going to tell you.
Okay.
So
I
I guess
can't
you
wait
guys
now.
should watch it.
I guess.
We should.
It's like a southern staple. It's great.
Southern
Like
staple.
Steel
Southern
Magnolias.
Have you seen Steel Magnolias?
Nope.
No.
Jeez.
Wait, is that Julia Roberts?
Yeah.
Or What's Eating Gilbert Grape? Isn't
Oh,
that
I
a
definitely
Southern
saw that one.
That's not a southern staple, though.
I've never seen it.
But
Like,
it's good.
the staples are like Steel Magnolias and
Forrest
fried green
Gump.
tomatoes. Forrest
Forrest
Gump is
Gump
like a good one, yeah.
It's like a
Don't.
everyone
no, I'm
staple.
not saying that's like everybody loves Forrest Gump.
That should
You
be a
guys have
TV
seen
show.
Forrest Gump. You're
It's
not
a
from the
staple.
South. It's I said southern.
Yeah, but it's not a
staple.
southern staple. I mean, it's
It's
an
in
everywhere.
Alabama.
It's an everywhere staple.
They go through so many historical things in that movie.
Yeah, it's not just for southern people.
Yeah, he goes to DC at one point.
Lieutenant Dan.
Got new legs. Ice cream.
All right. So,
All right.
what do we have for pop
Oh, wait,
culture?
that's not this one.
So Mandy and I decided that it's Christmas time. Christmas is starting now.
Christmas started.
Christmas time is here.
Yeah.
It was very beautiful.
Thank you.
Happiness and cheer.
I was listening to Christmas music all the way over here,
Were you really?
as I have every day since Thanksgiving.
I was gonna say, yeah, I've been listening to it since Thanksgiving.
See, I'm not that person.
Well, I only listen to it in the car, and since it takes me 15 minutes to get to work now, I'm not listening to it for like.
So it's like 5 songs or
I
something.
like
Yeah.
listening to it when I'm like ice skating or opening presents or doing like specific holiday things like shopping. But then when I'm like in my car, I want to listen to my own, like, you know.
It's fair.
Yeah,
I listen to it because I only get like a month to listen to this music.
I mean, technically you can listen to it whenever you want to.
I know, but it doesn't feel right. Like
Yeah.
when I listen to it because like it feels like except for it's 65 fucking degrees outside right
72 right now. That's what it said in my car on my way here.
now. Anywho, it just feels right when it's like December and you know there's like Christmas ads everywhere and there's Christmas
Michael
trees and Christmas
Bublé.
lights and Michael Bublé.
Michael.
No lie though, I used to have like Michael
My
Bublé's like Spotify or Pandora station on, and people just assume that he only does Christmas music. So they're like, "Are you listening to Christmas music right now at work?" And I'm like, "It's just Michael Bublé. It's just his normal music."
You know that his actual name is Mickle Bubble.
No, it's not.
No, it's not.
You're right. I'm just kidding. I thought it was funny.
Michelangelo.
Like,
That was a little bit of
brought
Pierce
back
coming out right
around. I brought it back around from the Michelangelo thing.
Oh,
Yeah, I got it. But
Thank
it
you.
wasn't funny.
Thank you.
I got it, but it just
really
It
fell
flat. It's
yeah. So Christmas
unlike
time.
Michael Bublé. He doesn't
He never
ever
falls
fall flat.
That was.
I'm gonna do my finger guns.
Yeah, finger
No one
guns.
can see them.
People know.
They know. They can feel the finger
They
guns.
feel the finger guns.
Oh man. So we decided to
talk
research like traditions and origins. Winter things, and where they came from,
Yeah.
and what happens during these festivities.
Nice.
Can I
Festivus.
start by Festivus for the rest,
For the rest
of
of
us?
us, thank you, Seinfeld.
So Christmas came from Mass of Christ, a mass service, which is also sometimes called communion or Eucharist or Eucharist. I don't know. I've only ever called
Eucharist.
Eucharist.
it. Okay, yeah. I've
Yeah.
only ever heard it called communion. So, Christmas is like where Christians remember that Jesus died for us and then came back to life. The Christ Mass service was the only one that was allowed to take place after sunset and before sunrise the next day. So people had it at midnight. So we get the name Christ Mass shortened to Christmas. Now Christmas is celebrated by like a lot of people, not just Christians,
We used
all
to
over
go
the
to
world.
the evening service as Catholics.
I just never knew that it was like, I know that everyone's like, don't forget the Christ in Christmas, but I never knew that it was like Christ
Actually,
Mass. Yeah, like it was a mass service. Yeah.
Interesting. I know a
Well,
lot of
it's
people who aren't
Catholics.
religious who still do Christmas.
No, that's what I said. Like most people still
Yeah.
like celebrate Christmas, but that's where the
origins,
original
yeah.
name came from.
Origins.
And for anybody that isn't Catholic or doesn't know, that's what a Catholic service is called, is Mass.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, no one really knows the real birthday of Jesus. There's no date given in the Bible. They also don't know what year it was. They know that it probably didn't happen in year 1 because there isn't one, but it happened probably between 2 BCE and 7 BCE or BC, depending upon.
Do we know when we started actually like saying what year it was?
Back like a long time ago.
Yeah, like
Like
that would be an interesting topic to discuss. Like
I feel like it wouldn't be very long.
no, but maybe it would fall into like a category.
Well, it started 2018 years ago.
Yeah, but did
No,
they start
there
out
was-
and they're
but
like,
they
this
started,
is
like,
year
before
1?
then.
Like who actually said, okay,
Or there
we're
was
year
like
1?
AD. Well, because there was there's BC and then there's
Right,
AD
before Christ
then
and
there's-
after death, but they didn't.
That's not actually
like,
what it stands for, though.
What is it?
Maybe we
Where did
should have
calendars
this.
come? Like the Mayans had a calendar of their own.
BC
Long before
and,
Christians did.
and AD are not before Christ and after death, but that's what we've always been told.
Oh my gosh.
No, it's like some Latin.
Oh yeah.
Somewhat.
Add
Yeah, Anno Domini or
Yeah.
Domini, and then Anno Domini means in the year of our Lord, and then
But like, who sat down and like did the math and
Probably
they're like,
Romans.
okay, that happened 2,000 years before this first
BC
year.
does stand for before Christ, but
Okay.
AD is Anno Domini, which is in the
Interesting.
year of the Lord, which specifically refers to the birth of Christ, but they don't actually know when that is. So anyway, the first recorded date of Christmas being celebrated on December 25th was in 336 during the time of the Roman Emperor Constantine. A few years later, Pope Julius I officially declared that the birth of Jesus would be celebrated on the 25th of December. However, there are many traditions and theories as to why Christmas is celebrated on December 25th. A very early Christian tradition said that Mary was told she was to have a special baby on March 25th, and apparently that is still celebrated. 9 months after that is December 25th. So that's one of the things. And then March 25th was also the day some early Christians thought the world had been made, and also the day that Jesus died when he was an adult, is what they think. The date of March 25th was chosen because people had calculated that the day on which Jesus died as an adult, which is the 14th of Nisan in the Jewish calendar, and they thought that Jesus was born and had died on the same day of the year. Some people also think that December 25th might have also been chosen because the winter solstice and the ancient pagan Roman midwinter festivals called Saturnalia and Dies Natalis Solis Invicti took place in December around this date. So it was a time when people already celebrated things. Winter solstice is the day where the shortest time between sun and rise and sunset. If you guys don't know that, but you should. It happens on December 21st or 22nd. To pagans, this meant that winter was over and spring was coming, and they had a festival to celebrate it and worshiped the sun for winning over the darkness of winter. In Scandinavia and some other parts of Northern Europe, the winter solstice is known as Yule, which they talk about in Frozen. And
Like Yuletide.
that's where Yule logs come from. So, did I take that from you? I'm sorry. You made
Four
me
of them
think.
that are gone.
Oh no!
It's
Wait,
okay.
did you go more in depth into them? I just like kind of covered.
No, I
them.
was just.
I
Let's
just
go
said
back
what
to
they are.
Saturnalia. I'm going to say with a soft A, Saturnalia.
Yeah, you make it sound fancier than I do.
Yeah. Western culture owes many of its traditional midwinter celebrations, including Christmas, to Saturnalia. And it was an ancient Roman solstice celebration dedicated to the Saturn, the god of agriculture and time.
See, I didn't say any of those things.
I know.
I did the
Like
paragraph in the
overview.
beginning, and like you remember in 3rd grade when you have to do like the intro and then the 3
summary
bodies and then the ending.
Yeah.
You're doing the 3 bodies.
The plot.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
nice.
And the climax and the
Yeah.
conclusion.
You're
Oh, the
welcome.
climax.
I just-
no jokes for that one?
No.
We take climax very seriously around here.
It matters. It's the most important part. Though it started out as a one-day celebration earlier in December, the pagan festival later expanded into a week-long party stretching from December 17th to 24th. And I feel like we should do that.
Let's bring it back.
Let's party for a while. I couldn't do the math fast enough. During this jolliest and most popular of Roman festivals, social norms fell away as everyone indulged in gambling, drinking, feasting, and giving gifts. Even slaves got to partake in the festivities. They did not work, and some masters turned the tables and served their slaves.
Oh, that's cool.
Well, yeah. Okay, then the Feast of Yule. It was a pre-Christian festival observed in Scandinavia at the time of the December solstice. Fires were lit to symbolize the heat, light, and life-giving properties of the returning sun. So it's just because the days got shorter, and then they were praising the fact that days started getting longer. It says Yule or Jule log, so Juul is the other spelling of it, was brought in and burned on the hearth in honor of the Scandinavian god Thor, which I thought was awesome.
Can I also say that my husband is Norwegian and we watch the Yule log every year on Christmas Day? Like you can watch it on TV.
Yeah.
And it's just like a burning
Log?
It's a burning log.
And
they have like channels and
Yeah.
Netflix specials and stuff for
We've
it.
already started watching the Netflix Yule log.
Yeah. Michael and I turned it on yesterday.
Yeah.
I don't know how I feel about that.
It's just
It's literally
sounds
just a
boring.
TV
It
of...
is. It's just a TV
Well, it's just
of
to
a
have
burning
on,
log.
but they have like crackling
Yeah.
fire, crackling
Like a
logs.
TV
and stuff.
fireplace?
Yeah. Without
You've
the
never
heat.
had a Yule log on your TV?
No.
Where do you come from?
Ohio.
Okay. A piece of the log that was burning for the Yule log was kept as both a token of good luck and as kindling for the following year's log. In England, Germany, France, and other European countries, the Yule log was burned until nothing but ash remained. The ashes were then collected and then either strewn on the fields as fertilizer every night until 12th night, which I assume is like Christmas, or the 12th night of solstice. I guess I don't know what that means. Until 12th
There's
night.
a lot of 12 things. I was going to talk about the 12 days of Christmas, but that doesn't start until after Christmas, so.
Okay. Or kept as a charm or as medicine. French peasants believed that if the ashes were kept under the bed, they would protect the house against thunder and lightning. The present-day custom of lighting a Yule log at Christmas is believed to have originated in the bonfires associated with the Feast of Yule.
Interesting.
I like that.
I like that one.
I like that one, too.
Because I like that Thor's in there.
Which is why they, like, protected against thunder and lightning. Thor.
Go Thor.
Huh. I did research the 12 days of Christmas, and growing up, we were always taught the 12 days of Christmas start on the day after Christmas. But a lot of people don't know that.
I always thought it was like the days leading up to Christmas.
Yeah, because
Me
of
too.
the song, like of gifts and things like that.
Yeah.
But really it starts, so the 12 days of Christmas start on Christmas Day, and the last, until the last evening of the 5th of January, which is, and then January 6th is a huge, tradition as well, because that's supposed to be the day. So the way that I grew up was that, like, in the stories that they teach about Jesus is that, like, he was born on Christmas Day, which we know now is not how it is, but that's the way that they celebrate it. And then that was when the Star of Bethlehem was placed in the sky, and then the wise men followed it, and it took them 12 days to get to Jesus. And so it celebrates, like, the 12 days of them getting to him, and on that 12th day is, like, whenever you celebrate like January 6th is like the Wise Men Day or something like that. But the 12 days have been celebrated in Europe since before the Middle Ages and were a time of celebration. Each 12th day represents and celebrates a feast day for a saint or have other celebrations. If you're interested, Google it. There were 12 days, and I knew we had a lot to talk about, and I didn't want to go through and say, like, each day was like which saint and stuff.
I am interested now
The
to see what they are.
rings. That's my favorite one.
Partridge.
Yeah,
in the
but those
Pear
aren't
Tree.
actually real. That was just in a song. So sorry to take away your
Oh God,
excitement.
Taylor's so disappointed right now. She's like, I want gold rings.
Where's my gold rings?
Okay, so the tradition of gift giving started with the three wise men, who visited Jesus and gave him gifts of myrrh, frankincense, and gold. If you want to start a Christmas tradition, suppose the first Christmas would be a good day. Oh, that's stupid. Take that out. Sorry. I'm just skimming this right now. As with many other entries on this list, though, the true origin of gift giving lies in pagan beliefs. During Saturnalia, children would often be given gifts of wax dolls, an act with irregular.
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 Taylor's rubbing off on me.
It's in the water.
Or in the wine.
During Saturnalia, children would be often given gifts of wax dolls, an act with a rather macro. How do you say that?
My God.
How do you say that? Macro
What is the word?
macabre?
Oh, macabre.
Yeah.
Oh.
With a like dark history. Anyway, itself, the dolls were used to represent human sacrifices that Rome had given to Saturn in the past as payment for good harvests. Boughs of certain trees and other plant matter were also used as common gifts during Saturnalia, and were used to represent bounty and good harvests.
Nice.
End
That's not
statement.
Weird.
I like when things like now they're all cheerful and happy, and like they came from some
Dark beginnings.
some fucked up shit.
Yeah, like the Rosy Posy or whatever.
yeah,
Oh,
pocket
yeah,
full of
Ring Around the
posy.
Rosy.
Ring Around the
Yeah,
Rosy.
that's really dark.
Yeah.
I like it.
Me too.
So the colors of Christmas,
Red
They're-
and green.
yeah, red and green are the most like.
It was
known.
also my high school colors.
Really?
Are they really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Mine are blue and gold.
Green, 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 green. Red, 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 red. That was one of our cheers.
Oh, ours is Buccaneers because we were the Buccaneers. Because we're
ours
really
was.
original. We can spell.
All right, ready? HUD. Oh no, EXP with an L. LOR with an E. ERS with an EXP with an LOR with an ERS with an EXP LORERS. Go Explorers.
Oh my God.
That's good, right?
You guys all had to be so sober for that.
Were you a cheerleader?
I was, yeah.
Yeah. She
My
was
whole
a
life.
cheerleader.
Really? Mm-hmm. How did I not know this?
I don't know.
I feel like I did know that.
You probably did, but you just forgot.
I try to forget things like that. Oh my gosh, you're like Brooke and Peyton.
Are we really talking about One Tree Hill again?
That's my life right now.
Did we talk about that last?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm
episode?
watching it.
Yeah.
So everything that I ever talk about will go back to that until I'm done with it. That's how life works.
All right.
Anyway, so the colors of Christmas. So evergreen plants like holly, ivy, and mistletoe have been used for thousands of years to decorate and brighten up buildings during the long, dark winter. They remind people that spring would come and that winter wouldn't last forever. The Romans would exchange evergreen branches during January as a sign of good luck. The ancient Egyptians used to bring palm branches into their houses during the midwinter festivals. In many parts of Europe during the Middle Ages, paradise plays were performed, often on Christmas Eve. They told Bible stories to people who couldn't read. The paradise tree in the Garden of Eden in the play was normally a pine tree with red apples tied to it. But do you want to go? I know that you said something
did
about
Christmas
trees. Why don't you do that real quick and then I'll go to red?
Oh, no, that's fine. I'll just do Christmas trees after.
Oh, okay. And then red was used in Christmas trees as apples. They represented the fall of Adam in the plays. Red is also the color of holly berries, which is said to represent the blood of Jesus when he died on the cross. Red is also the color of bishop's robes. These would have been worn by St. Nicholas, which we might go into as well.
Yes.
And then gold is the color of the sun and light, both very important in the dark winter.
And those rings.
And and both red and gold are the colors of fire that you need to help keep you warm. My favorite version of that is the Muppet version. And Miss Piggy just says it over and over again. White, obviously, because of snow. And just the purity of Christ. And then blue, I thought that this one was interesting. So my mom is really big into like blue and purple. Like we had like a blue, like I have a blue and white Christmas like tree theme on my.
I don't like the people who put up blue lights in their yard.
Well,
Like
'cause,
all
they're pretty.
blue. No.
They hurt my eyes a little,
it's
but
like-
it's pretty.
You either do all the colors, like the red and the green and yellow and blue and
Oh,
all
I
the
like
things.
white and blue.
I don't like the white ones and I don't like the blue ones. It's too moody for me.
Well, I guess you can't come to my house.
There's no nostalgia in blue lights for me.
The color blue is often associated with
Royalty?
the Mother Mary. Well, and purple.
It was
blue,
purple. Purple's royalty.
But
yeah.
also blue in medieval times was more expensive than gold. Blue dye was, and blue paint. So it would only be worn by royal families and very rich people. So obviously I'm really rich and that's why my house is blue and white.
That's definitely why.
People paint Mother Mary wearing blue to show she was very important. I thought that was interesting.
Yeah, I took a lot of I went to school for art and art education, and I took a lot of like art history courses, and there is so much blue. Like it's crazy to like go in and actually have to like nitpick the things that are in a painting and be like, this is why she's wearing blue, or this is why there's this gold halo above, like
There's a reason for all that. Like they all
definitely.
represent something.
They thought so hard back then.
I know. Now we're just like,
Now we're just like,
This
let's
is a
slap
dot.
some paint.
it's $3,000.
$3,000. What $3 million?
$3 million. Okay.
No, I like abstract too. It's cool.
Sometimes I do. So I wanted to talk about where Christmas trees come from, other than the ground. Originally, obviously, they were real. All of them were real. We only got into artificial Christmas trees, I don't know, in the mid 1900s. I think 1950s to 70s was when it really boomed.
I didn't have a fake tree until 3 years ago when Mark and I bought one. I always had real trees.
Always had fake trees. And it's the same fake tree every year because we would put it in a box in the basement and then we bring it back up.
Yeah, the one my parents got one when I was in high school, but we had like the tradition of going out and cutting down a Christmas tree. Like it was one of my favorite days ever. But I understand they got shit to do, and real Christmas trees are hard to take care of.
They also have a thing now. I read the other day about I don't know if there's one in Tennessee. I don't know where the place was that I read about, but they have trees because there's an online thing where you can order them and they come to you and they come in a pot and you can send them back.
Oh, real one?
But
That's cool.
Yeah, but now they have these like farms where they grow the tree in like a pot and you can rent the same tree every year and people just rent out Christmas trees and then bring them back and then they replant them so that they can keep like
grow. Yeah.
Interesting.
Because we like waste so many trees.
Yeah. I actually, my very first real tree was last year in New Zealand when it was like hot as ever. Like it was summertime. And I found out that real trees like to shed their needles everywhere.
It was my job to vacuum.
Yeah,
it's insane. And we left that thing up till February.
Well, sometimes you do.
Yeah, my mom always
it's a fire hazard though.
Yeah. Well, my mom put Sprite in with it to keep it green longer.
Oh, that's
I didn't know
life
that was
hack.
a thing. Yeah. Do you put that shit on Pinterest?
I
Wait,
should.
Sprite in the bottom, like in
in
the
like
water
with the
thing.
water. She would put Sprite in it. She also does that with flowers that she gets, and they like stay alive longer, which makes me feel weird about drinking it. But it's
Well,
fine.
have you seen all the like life hacks with Coca-Cola?
Oh yeah, I don't drink Coke because of
It's
them.
terrifying.
Yeah.
Okay, so the tradition was, and also with trees and wreaths, they symbolized pre-Christian winter festivals, immortality, and fortitude. But traditionally, the trees were decorated with edible things like apples, like you said before, and apples.
Apples and apples.
Apples and
apples.
Apples and apples.
Oh,
And
like
nuts.
a game.
Two apples.
Apples,
Apples,
two
two
apples.
apples.
Oh, apples, two apples.
Close. And nuts. The evergreen was also known to have represented the same values to a variety of cultures, including Egyptians, Chinese, and Hebrews. The worship of trees was also very common in European Druidism.
I do think it's druid.
And paganism. In Christian tradition, trees were often put up in December to serve the dual purpose of warding off the devil and allowing a perch for whatever birds still remained. Evergreen trees decorated with apples and wafers were also used in Christmas Eve plays during the Middle Ages to represent the tree from which Adam and Eve and the forbidden fruit.
Wafers.
Did
they want mice?
Do you want ants? This is how you get ants.
This is how you get ants.
It's an Archer quote for anybody that doesn't watch it. As for decoration, the first evidence for decorated Christmas trees comes from German craftsman guilds during the Renaissance. After the Protestant Reformation, trees enjoyed a surge of popularity among Protestant households as counterparts to the Catholic nativity scene.
I love that
because obviously that was in the desert.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I love that when we run across a word that we're not entirely sure whether we're saying
a question.
it correct. It's into a question, and then we say it twice, like the second way that we might have said
Is how we decided that that's how we're going to say it. No, yeah.
It's funny. We should just make a compilation of all those words.
Yes.
And post it.
Let
us know if you want that.
Oh God, nobody wants that.
We can do it.
And then mistletoe. I had mistletoe. Which sounds awful. Kaler. We have another episode.
Mistletoe.
Mistletoe is a parasitic plant, which I think is hilarious.
I thought it was funny too. Yeah, I read about it.
Which perches on a tree branch and absorbs nutrients from the trunk. Hardly one of the most romantic forms of life, but it has inspired people. It's gone back generations. The Greeks believed that the Aeneas.
Aeneas.
I don't like that.
How do you spell it?
Aeneas.
Anias.
The
I
famous
say Aeneas.
the famous ancestor of the Romans carried a sprig of mistletoe in the form of the legendary golden bough, which they sang about in many Christmas songs. In Eddic tradition, mistletoe was the only thing able to kill the god Baldur, since it had not sworn an oath to leave him alone. I don't know, this is just crazy stuff. Amongst other pre-Christian cultures, mistletoe is believed to carry the male essence, and by extension, romance, fertility, and vitality. To use as decoration stems from the fact that it was believed to protect homes from fire and lightning. It was commonly hung at Christmas time, only to remain there all year until being replaced by another sprig next Christmas. The process by which mistletoe became associated with kissing is currently unknown, but it was first recorded in 16th century England as a very popular practice.
I found totally different things about mistletoe.
Really?
Yeah.
Also, pause.
Yep.
Aeneas.
Is that how it's pronounced?
Aeneas.
Okay, keep
I don't
going,
like that.
and then
I
I'm going to
don't
tell you what
like
I found about it.
Don't ingest mistletoe, is what I was going to
It's
say.
poison, right?
It's poison.
Yeah, it causes diarrhea and stomach pain.
Just like romance.
Just
Just
like love.
like love.
So I found that the tradition of hanging it in the house goes back to the times of the ancient Druids, which I thought was just Star Wars, but it's not.
Oh, I have that saved as well.
It is supposed to possess mystical powers which bring good luck to the household and ward off evil spirits. It was also used as a sign of love and friendship in Norse mythology, and that's where the custom of kissing under the mistletoe comes from.
And actually, when it first came to Western Europe, some tried to ban the use of mistletoe as a decoration in churches because of the sin.
Weird.
The sin.
Everything is a sin.
I just want to cover Hanukkah and Kwanzaa really quick.
Okay.
Just because,
My in-laws are Jewish.
yeah, my sister-in-law is Jewish. And today is the first day of Hanukkah.
It is.
Oh, is it?
I know this
Yeah.
comes out tomorrow, but
Where's
today
my
is
present?
Sunday.
You're not Jewish.
But I still want a present.
All right, it comes
5
out in
golden
2 days.
rings.
Just kidding.
Oh, okay.
Like, I just said that this episode comes out tomorrow, but it comes out on Tuesday.
Oh.
But today, Sunday.
So I should
is
have
the
2
first day.
presents by now.
So Hanukkah, how long does Hanukkah go for?
8 nights, right?
Yes.
8 crazy nights. Adam Sandler.
Yeah.
Oh,
I was going to say, like, someone please talk about Adam Sandler because it's what I knew as a child.
Ooh, Hanukkah. Hanukkah. Ooh, I don't know any of the actual words.
Ross and Rachel. Bladel.
I'm just going to let you guys keep
Something
going.
about a dreidel.
Yeah, dreidel.
Yep.
Do you know how to play a dreidel? I made you on
I
a
made
play.
it out of clay.
Dreidel,
Made you.
dreidel. And when you're warm and ready,
Ready,
my
and
dreidel I will play.
A dreidel is like a spinning top.
Yeah. It's a 4-sided top with Hebrew letter on each side. The 4 letters are the first letter of the phrase Nes Gadol Haya Sham. Please
That
forgive
sounded
me
wonderful.
if I said that wrong.
No,
was
that sounded
good.
really good.
Sounded
In
like you
fact,
knew
way
exactly.
better than I could have done.
Yes.
Which means a great miracle happened there. So, but if you're in Israel, it changes it to Nes Gadol Haya Po, which means that a great miracle happened here, which I think is
Oh.
kind of cool.
I like that.
Yeah.
So the story behind Hanukkah, about 200 BC, Israel was a state in the Seleucid Empire and under the overall charge of the king of Syria. However, they could follow their own religion and its practices. In 171 BC, there was a new king called Antiochus the fourth, who also called himself Antiochus Epiphanes, which means Antiochus the visible God. He wasn't full of himself
Tooted his
at
own horn a
all.
little bit.
Antiochus, I know I keep saying that wrong, and I apologize to everyone listening, but I'm just going to keep going.
Is it Antiochus?
It's like Antiochus. So I feel like I should say Antiochus.
Antiochus.
Antiochus wanted all the empire to follow Greek ways of life and the Greek religion with all its gods. Some of the Jews wanted to be more Greek, but most wanted to stay Jewish. The brother of the Jewish high priest wanted to be more Greek, so he bribed Antiochus. I'm going to keep going with that now.
Yep.
So he would become the new high priest instead of his brother. 3 years later, another man bribed Antiochus even more to let him become the high priest. To pay his bribe, he stole some of the objects made of gold that were used in the Jewish temple. On his way back home from having a retreat from battle, Antiochus stopped in Jerusalem and he let out all of his anger on the city and the Jewish people. He ordered houses to be burned down and tens of thousands of Jews were killed or put to slavery. Antiochus then went to attack the Jewish temple, the most important building in Israel to Jews. The Syrian soldiers took all the treasures out of the temple, and on the 15th Kislev, 168 BC, Antiochus put up a statue of the Greek god Zeus in the center of the Jewish temple, but it had the face of Antiochus. What a douche.
Yeah. I mean,
I hate him.
reminds me of somebody.
Then on 25 Kislev, he desecrated the most holy place in the temple and destroyed the Jewish holy scrolls. Antiochus then banned practicing the Jewish faith and religion. If you were found to be Jewish, you were killed, and made the temple into a shrine to Zeus. There were many Jews killed for their faith. Soon afterwards, a Jewish rebellion started. It began when a former Jewish priest called, I feel like I should know this, Mattathias? I don't know. I'm so sorry.
How do you spell it?
Matt, Athias. Mattathias? Sounds like something old.
I like it.
I like it.
I feel so bad that I don't know how to say these things. Was forced to make an offering to Zeus in his village. He refused to do so and killed a Syrian soldier. Mattathias's sons joined him and killed the other soldiers in the village. He was an old man and died soon after this, but his son Judah, I know how to say that one, then took charge of the freedom fighters. Judah's nickname was Maccabee. I know how to say that too, which come from the Hebrew word for hammer. He and his troops lived in caves and fought an undercover war for 3 years. They then met the Syrians in open battle and defeated them. When they got back to Jerusalem, the temple was in ruins and the statue of Zeus Antiochus was still standing. They cleaned the temple, they rebuilt the Jewish altar, and on the 25th Kislev, 165 BC, which, if you don't know, Kislev is the Jewish calendar.
I didn't know what that was. So
okay,
thank you.
sorry. And that's why, so Jewish people still live by the Jewish calendar, which is why Hanukkah is at a different time every year. So it goes by the phases of the moon. And so
It's kind of cool.
Yeah, it is. So that's why, like, last year, Hanukkah was later, and it usually falls in December.
Around the same time.
Yeah.
But last year it was like right around Christmas, and this year it's like in the beginning of the year, or beginning of December.
Yeah.
But it goes by the moon. So exactly 3 years later, the statue was put up and the altar and the temple was rededicated to God. There are several theories about why Hanukkah is celebrated over 8 nights. One legend says that when Judah and his followers went into the temple, there was only enough oil to burn for 1 night, but that it burned for 8 nights. Another story says that they found 8 iron spears and put candles on them and used them for lighting in the temple. So if you don't know about Hanukkah, you light the center candle and then you light the other candles each night.
Yeah, every day.
But I thought that was a really interesting story.
Yeah.
And then I'm also going to really quickly talk about Kwanzaa, because I didn't know anything about Kwanzaa until I read about it. Do you guys know anything about Kwanzaa?
I knew that it had something to do, because I thought that it was in Africa.
I thought it was it's an African tradition, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
But like I thought
It was
that
like
it
a
was
place?
in Africa.
What about you?
Well, I think that it's like a holiday tradition, right? Like
we used to like sing
almost
songs
like
about
a
it.
Christmas celebrated in Africa.
Because we always sang about Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, and Christmas.
Colorful hats.
Yes.
And
upbeat
dresses and things and dancing. Yeah.
Yeah, I always thought the same kind of thing because they all happen around the same time.
Are you about to say but?
Yeah.
But let me just ruin
let me
everything
just tell
you've
you
ever thought.
exactly what it is. Do you know how many days Kwanzaa is?
8. 7. 8.
What about you?
Honestly, I thought that it was just like a one thing.
A one day?
A 1 day thing.
Kwanzaa is a 7-day festival that celebrates African and African-American culture and history. Kwanzaa takes place from the 26th of December to the 1st of January. I always thought that it was just the 1st of January because I remember like on the calendar, I think it says it says Kwanzaa, Happy New Year, and then Kwanzaa something.
Yeah.
I guess I never noticed.
But I never realized that it was 7 days. The name Kwanzaa comes from the phrase, please forgive me again, Matunda ya Kwanzaa, which means first fruits in the Swahili language. Kwanzaa is mostly celebrated in the U.S., which I thought that it was everywhere. During Kwanzaa, a special candle holder called a kinara is used. A kinara holds 7 candles, 3 red ones on the left, 3 green ones on the right, with a black candle in the center.
We used to like do this somewhere in the back of my mind, like
maybe at school. Maybe they like did like that.
Yeah,
and
then Hanukkah and Christmas, and like our Advent and everything.
What do they call it? The candle holder?
Kinara, which is
funny.
interesting because a menorah is
kinara. I wonder if it's technically the same word, just in 2 different languages. That's like Swahili or something.
When the candles mean different things, though.
Well, it says this is quite similar to the lighting of the menorah in the Jewish Festival of Lights. So they light the black center candle first and then alternate between the red and green candles, starting with the one on the outside and moving inwards, which is the same thing that you do with the menorah. I'm pretty sure. I think you go outside first and then you go in. The 7 days and candles in Kwanzaa represent the 7 principles of Kwanzaa. So I'm not even going to try and say them, but they stand for unity, self-determination, collective work and responsibility, cooperative economics, purpose, creativity, and believing in people, families, leaders, teachers, and the righteousness of African-American struggle.
It's really beautiful.
It is beautiful. I'm just not going to like butcher the words.
Absolutely.
Yeah. What I thought was interesting was that there is also 7 symbols used in Kwanzaa. The 7 items are often set on a Kwanzaa table with the kinara in the house. Like I said, I'm not going to try and use the words again, but I'll tell you what they are. There's a mat, which is made of woven fabric, and it symbolizes experiences and foundations. There's a unity cup that represents family and community. There is the crops, which are fruits and vegetables from the harvest, and everybody shares them. There's the candle holder, which represents the days and the principles of Kwanzaa. The 7 candles are placed in the kinara. Black, red, and green are the colors of the African flag. The corn, which I've heard of this one before. There's an ear of corn of each child in the family. If there are no children in the family, then 1 ear is used to represent the children in the community. Oh, yeah. And it represents the future and the Native Americans. And then gifts are given to children during Kwanzaa are normally educational, such as a book, DVD, or game. There's also a gift reminding them of their African heritage.
I really like that.
Yeah, I think it's awesome.
I think that whole thing is really wonderful.
There's a special greeting used during Kwanzaa in Swahili. It's habari gani, and the reply is the principle for that day. So umoja on the first day, you would say like habari gani umoja, or however you say that. I'm sorry if I say it wrong. The Kwanzaa festival was created by Dr. Malana Karinga in 1966. I thought it was like a
an
super
old-
old
yeah,
thing. I had
back in-
no idea.
Me neither.
Dr. Karinga wanted a way to bring African Americans together and remember their Black culture. Harvest or first fruit festivals are celebrated all over Africa. These were celebrations when people would come together and celebrate and give thanks for the good things in their lives and communities. And from these festivals, he created Kwanzaa, and we celebrated after Christmas.
Wow.
So
Very
I thought it was
interesting.
really cool. Like, I wish that I would have known more about it before, but I think it's cool to know
Yeah.
now. Yeah.
Never too late.
Yeah.
I feel like we should have like a Kwanzaa party or something.
I feel like that's, what is that called?
Cultural appropriation.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like that would be that. But I would love to celebrate Kwanzaa with my African American friends.
Well, yeah. I mean, we have plenty of them.
Or just have like a holiday party and then talk about it. And
Yeah, we should
make
just
other
have like
people
an
informed, because it's kind of crazy that none of us actually knew what it was.
we'd heard of it
Yeah,
and didn't know any of the details.
Yeah.
We should have a holiday party,
I like it.
Yeah.
all inclusive.
Tell your friends, tell your wives.
Tell your kids.
I was trying to do like hide your kids, hide your wives.
Tell your friends.
But
Tell your
everybody's
wives.
getting Tell 'em.
holiday festival in here.
Festivilia.
Festivus for the rest of us.
Festivus.
That's what
Yeah.
I'll be celebrating.
Let's get out the pole.
Oh gosh.
That's what it is for the Festivus. Not like a dancing pole.
Yeah. Oh, I thought like stripper pole.
Yeah, I knew you did by the
Um,
laugh.
But anyone who hasn't checked out our merchandise,
Yes.
please
yeah.
do.
Christmas gifts.
We posted about what is that?
My cousin Megan.
Yeah, your cousin Megan got one of the travel cups. And
Yes.
it's so cute.
It is
It was
cute.
adorable.
I like need one now.
Now I'm going to get
Yeah,
one.
now I
Yeah,
need one.
because I've been really using my coffee mug. I love it.
Yeah, it's pretty
I
great.
used mine yesterday, I think. It's still sitting on the coffee table.
Coffee table. for
Coffee
coffee.
mug.
Coffee.
Coffee.
Yeah. And I haven't worn
Oh,
my
yeah.
shirt yet because I keep leaving it here.
Oh,
but I'm
yeah.
all about it.
I just washed it.
Oh,
so
perfect. So
I'm
now I
about
can
to wear
wear
it. Yeah.
If anyone else wants to find our merchandise, you can find that at popcrimeandwine.threadless.com.
Yes.
Beautiful.
Also, we would always love more sponsors. So hit us up.
We're definitely looking for more sponsors. We have a PayPal account if you want to just Venmo us $15 or however much, the specific wine that you're looking for is.
Either tell us to find one or tell us which wine you want us to try.
And send it to popcrimewine@gmail.com at
Yep.
PayPal.
And all of our social media is at Pop Crime and Wine, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. And we would love to hear from you. And we still want suggestions on like what to talk about, because for us sometimes it's hard to just pick something out of thin air, and then when we get like a direction to go in, it's kind of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fun to like research things that we wouldn't normally look up.
Like I have like 3 crimes that people have told me about, and they're really interesting. So yeah, I want to do them.
We want to hear from you.
Yeah.
Yes, leave us a 5-star review. As always.
Not 4 or under.
No
But
thanks.
I mean, just leave us a review.
But
But
if
5
you're
stars.
going to leave us a 4, 3, 2, or 1, don't leave us a review. No, I'm just kidding. But
But like also
But if
don't
it's
do it on
something-
purpose now because Taylor's telling you not
Yeah,
to.
if
Like
it's-
don't do it out of spite because that doesn't help us.
if it's something that we can change, before you go and review and bring our 5-star status down,
Let
send
us
us an
know.
email and let us know what we can,
we are
improve
here to
upon.
make you happy. Or offend you totally by how we talk.
Or just talk about shit. All right, guys.
Either way.
Thanks
It's
for
been fun.
Thanks for hanging. It's been real fun.
And we will.
See you next Tuesday. Layla, get your paw out of my crotch.
Dogs.